All right, let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a football team that got off to a really hot start. Unfortunate outcome the other night, losing the divisional matchup, but they're heading into a massive one against the New Orleans Saints in just a few short days. Fortunately for the Buccaneers, they just made a really smart move that should give them a key leg up in this matchup. Good news for Tampa Bay. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, this is a Buccaneers team, like I mentioned, got off to a hot start. Baker Mayfield was looking good. Todd Bowles was making a lot of smart moves. Unfortunately, the defense kind of unraveled a number of nights ago in that disappointing defeat at the hands of the Atlanta Falcons, but they have a chance to stay on top of this division with a big matchup against the New Orleans Saints. The Saints reportedly, I think it's pretty much confirmed now that they are not going to play Derek Carr. Derek Carr is beat up. They're leaning towards the reports are Spencer Rattler is going to be the starting quarterback. There's question marks whether the Saints' other backup, Jake Haener, may play as well. But I think the smart move is how the Buccaneers are handling the situation. Let's pull up this report courtesy of SI.com. The New Orleans Saints aren't looking exactly how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers thought they would be heading into Sunday. Their starting quarterback, Derek Carr, will be out with an oblique injury. Quarterback Spencer Rattler will be playing in his relief, but for Bucs head coach Todd Bowles, that won't be enough to foil Tampa Bay's plans. I don't know if it's different any. I know they're feeding Alvin Kamara a lot more, Bull said. He was getting the ball a lot in the past, but they're feeding him a lot more and really featuring their speed wide receivers down the field. It's similar because of the guys, but it's different in scheme. Bowles considers those things the hallmark of this offense, not necessarily who's playing quarterback like Rattler. The preparation wasn't difficult because we were playing the Saints offense, not just Derek Carr, Bull said. I don't think these guys are going to change the offense, whether they play Jake Haener or whether they play Spencer Rattler. I don't think that's going to change. Just seeing how they move and what type of quarterbacks they are is a little different. I think this is absolutely genius by Todd Bowles. I think this is a perfect understanding of what the Saints are trying to do with the Saints' new offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak, from that Shanahan tree. A lot about the scheme, a lot about the strategy, less about the quarterback play. And Bowles recognizing that, I think, is a perfect strategic move for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. But first, Bucs fans, in the comment section below, obviously heading into this massive division matchup, you're favored right now, but it could go a bunch of different ways. Let us know in the comment section below how you think this game will shake out. Give us your prediction. Final score, Buccaneers, Saints. Want to hear you guys in the comment section below. But Miles, what are your thoughts on this latest news out of Tampa Bay?
Yeah, Nick, I think how Todd Bowles is attacking this game, he has it dead on. It is exactly right. Because if Derek Carr is or isn't the quarterback, I think they're going to approach this game the same way, whether it's Rattler, whether it's Haener. It doesn't change anything. Because if you look at the stats, what he said is exactly right. You look at the leading rusher for this team, obviously it's Alvin Kamara with 91 carries. You look at the leading receiver, not by yardage, by receptions, it's Alvin Kamara with 23 receptions this season as well. Alvin Kamara has been fed early and often, and he is really a great player. So I think Bowles saying, hey, we're going to key in on Alvin Kamara. We're going to key in on the speed receivers. We're going to key in on how this offense runs, not who's running the offense. I think it's a really smart move and a great insight by him because I think a lesser coach could definitely get pulled down into the weeds and they could say, oh, Rattler's coming in. Maybe there's some deep ball potential there. Maybe there's some flashy playmaking abilities that we have seen from time to time out of him. Or Haener, maybe they're going to go a more bland, safe, sort of quick completion type offense. Keep the ball safe, all that kind of stuff. Whoever is at quarterback, someone could really get dragged down in all of that. And he's saying it doesn't matter. It's going to be the same thing. They've been doing the same thing all year. It would be crazy to change it now. And he's absolutely right. So I think hats off to Todd Bowles coming out here, understanding the game of football, understanding how the NFL works, and understanding that who plays quarterback, especially if it's not the starter, isn't as important as how the offense as a whole is run.
Well, really, that is really important only with this kind of scheme. This is this Shanahan McVay scheme, right? Because it's the natural instinct where the quarterback is, and it's undeniably so, the most important position on the field, right? It's undeniable. But this one aberration is the Shanahan zone read play action that Clint Kubiak now has brought to the New Orleans Saints. And that's exactly what Bowles recognizes here. There's a reason Jimmy Garoppolo took the 49ers to the Super Bowl and a few years later can't get a job as a starter. Really, his career is essentially done as a star in the NFL. And now we've got Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy, who took the 49ers to a Super Bowl last year, took them to a conference title game before that. The scheme is about 90% of the deal here. You need to have a decent quarterback. That's undeniable, but it's all about the scheme, understanding your assignments, understanding your run fits, understanding your responsibilities. And for that, it does not matter who is playing quarterback. And that's what Bowles is alluding to here. And I think it's a really smart decision by Tampa Bay, because I've been in this mindset. Look, I played college football, smallish college football, 1AA. We'd go into games and we hear reports that the team starter was out with an injury, and we'd sit there and say, okay, we're going to get a true freshman. It's going to be a kind of game we can really tee off. But the other team comes out and they run just a sort of cool scheme, a cool system, and they just gash us, right? We're surprised. We got caught back on our heels thinking we were going to get an easy win because the starter wasn't playing, a young guy was, when in reality, the scheme and the talent around the quarterback propelled them to victory. That kind of mindset is exactly what prevails in New Orleans. Remember, this is a Saints team that so far this season has only one game where they've attempted 30 or more passing attempts. The Buccaneers have had 3 games where Baker Mayfield has attempted 30 or more passing attempts. What does that tell you? It tells you the quarterback is not as important as the scheme. It's all about that 49er Kyle Shanahan offense, in which case it's about stopping the run, play action, get these receivers on the ground, don't give up the big play. We've seen some teams do well with that. We've seen others do not. The Buccaneers need to focus on those 3 attributes. If they can get those done, I think they cruise to a victory, but they've got to stay focused, even though Derek Carr is not playing. I trust the odds makers in this one. Right now, the Buccaneers are listed at about a 3.5-point favorite on the road. I think that's about smart. I think that's where they should be. As long as they follow Bowles' leadership, I think they're in position for a massive victory this Sunday.